Behind me in the middle of the street over here is one of the stations for this new ART tram system that they are setting up here in Harbin. Lower cost than a bus?
Yes.
Actually,
Lower than subway.
lower than subway. Well, because there's no tracks. But
And you don't have to build a tunnel.
right, because you're just driving on the road.
Yes.
But buses drive on the road.
It's 37 meters long.
So this is like, this is a kind of train? Is that how you would define it? It's just art.
It's a tram.
It's a tram.
It's a tram, but without rails, I think.
Yes, no rails, but similar with trams.
Is this only in Harbin?
No. 3 cities in China.
What other cities?
Sichuan, and Xi'an.
So this is, you said there are 10 units so far that have been produced. Are they in use? Or
In use.
they are on the streets being used today?
Yes.
There's white lines outside. Do they need those?
Yes.
Yes.
We drive on those two white lines.
So it uses camera and AI to see the lines? Okay.
Like the subway's cost is 6 to 800 million per kilometer. But this one only 400,000.
Well, how does that compare to a bus?
Bus longer than bus and have the speed. This speed is 70 kilometers. Bus in Harbin only 30 kilometers per hour. Bus need waiting for the traffic lights.
Oh, so
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all the cars have to stop and wait for this to go by.
Special needs.
I don't think it has a lane, but I think cars can probably drive in that lane too. Can cars drive in the same lane as this vehicle? Yes. But this one, when it comes to an intersection, everything turns green for this vehicle. So we are on a new kind of experimental tram that follows white lines and uses visual technology and AI to drive with cars in its own devoted lane. When it arrives at an intersection, all of the other lights turn red and allow this vehicle to go first. It doesn't require additional infrastructure like a regular train because it doesn't have tracks. So it can drive anywhere faster, and it's actually much longer than a bus at 37 meters long. Hey, look, it actually has its own stations just like an ordinary subway, but instead it's above ground and it's using the roads. I think a bus would be shaking more. I think this is like more steady.
you think it's smoother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have, probably because it's got more wheels, right?
Maybe. This can travel up to 70 kilometers per hour in low traffic.
Let's go. Okay, let's go.
We're in a station. Alright, we're in a new station in Harbin for the ART, which is the Automated Rail Rapid Transportation System. There are 10 of these trains in 3 cities around China already fully operational, and they're more efficient than buses, longer than buses, more efficient than rail, require no additional infrastructure in terms of rail. There is a driver, but there's also AI managing the trip as well. We got to take a trip just now, and I noticed, even though it's similar to a bus, similar to a tram, the ride is much more stable. And of course, has all the regular amenities for people with disabilities, including ramps and places for wheelchairs. And there's audio as well for people with visual disability. We don't have this in Beijing, so this is something really special that Harbin, Suzhou, and I think one other city has. This is something we should be rolling out everywhere. Facial recognition software. How does the AI see what's on the ground and know where to go? It is these white markers. Behind me in the middle of the street over here is one of the stations for this new ART tram system that they are setting up here in Harbin. I'm from San Francisco. Now we have Muni and we have BART. So these are our kind of subway systems where I'm from in America. You know, not all American cities have a subway system, but I am fortunate to be from one of those cities that does. So we're here in Harbin, Heilongjiang, China, to see what their subway system is like. What all Chinese subway stations have is this. And it's a 24-hour TV that's always running. Oftentimes it has like documentary film, just to keep you entertained, but it also has safety instructions for when there's like a fire, when there are floods or whatever, which there aren't. And they have these huge screens throughout so that you know where you're going, where exits are. If you need to add fare, they have these touchscreen ad fare, and also where are all the locations for exits and so forth. Now this is something we don't have in San Francisco. In China is a lot newer than in San Francisco, so all of the infrastructure is brand new, it's well maintained, and is hyper postmodern. Even going down onto the platforms is open from other levels, which we don't have as much in the Bay Area, so it's really, really modern. Very light, entertaining gambling, which is also like what you got in California. The proceeds mostly go to schools and charities. And of course, drinks. You can't bring drinks, liquids into the subway as much, but you can buy them on the subway. Oops. Computerized screen, information for where you are, what car you on, where you're going to arrive, and so forth. And look how clean it is. Notice these huge spaces on each side. Most cars, or very frequently, they have these wheelchair space, very hyper wheelchair accessible, as well as elevators in every station. So what I really notice here living in China is you get used to the fact that every subway station has been beautified to its own theme, and that the Chinese government invests a lot in beautification to increase the quality of life for people across cities all over China. And you just kind of get used to it just being beautiful everywhere. In addition to medical kits, they also have wheelchairs in every station, and sometimes many of them, so that the workers actually here will go retrieve people, elderly people and such, that need assistance. They even roll out special mats for them and help them find the elevators.